Did Jesus know the day or the hour? How can Jesus be God and not know the hour? In the Bible, the conversation between Jesus and his disciples about his return to earth. His disciples were wondering when they can expect the day Jesus returns. Jesus responds, "But concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven nor the Son, but the Father only." Which leads us to the obvious conclusion. Why doesn't he know? So we do know that there are some cultural customs when it comes to a Jewish marriage in these days. Typically, marriages in these days were arranged by families. Once a family arranges the marriage, the father of the groom will then begin to build an expansion of his home to allow his son to take his bride when the expansion is complete. The key part of this custom is that the project was not considered complete until the father of the groom determined the project was complete. However, the whole town can see the progress of the expansion, and typically when they see the time is near, they would begin to arrange the food and wedding ceremony. When the father makes the final call, the wedding will begin. And once the wedding is complete, the son will take his bride for himself in a covenant marriage. But what does a marriage have to do with anything? Well, we see the concept of marriage being applied as a symbol for God being united with humans throughout the Bible. In the Old Testament, where God selects Israel to be his chosen people, when making this union official, we see a feast and ceremony at Mount Sinai that resembles a wedding. We also see this analogy continue in the Bible, but in a more negative way, when we see God describing Israel as an unfaithful spouse, when Israel does not follow the laws God put in place. Fast forward to the end of the Bible, in the book of Revelation, we see humans and God reuniting once and for all. But we see this symbolically in Revelation 19 as Jesus coming for his bride. But what does that mean? It is the completion of the new covenant, where Jesus marries his church and reunites humans with God once again. So what does this have to do with Jesus not knowing the day or the hour? Well, if we apply what we know of Jesus coming for his bride on the day he returns, we can also apply the cultural context of how an arranged marriage worked in his day. When he says he doesn't know the day or the hour, he's actually honoring the Father and saying that the Father will be the one to ultimately call the day. Instead, Jesus is giving the readers a much deeper meaning behind his words, one that should have us visualize the final communion between Creator and his creation, one that will be like a wedding celebration. And just in case you think that's a stretch, in the Gospel of John, we see Jesus alluding to the same analogy of his Father's home and preparing a place for his bride. Simon Peter asked Jesus where he is going. "In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and take you to myself, that where I am, you may also be." Putting together a perfect depiction of what we should be expecting.